everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello and welcome. So today I am very excited because I'm finally trying the new Melt Cosmetics Dark Matter palette. So it's finally in the UK. Beauty Bay finally got it, I believe like less than a week ago. Got my hands on it because it was like on my wish list, and yeah, as soon as it arrived I ordered it and it came the next day. So I am super excited because I haven't had a new Melt Cosmetics palette in a while. They did recently come out with, I think it's like the Electric Mood palette, which is kind of like a lot of neon tones and stuff. It's a bit too colourful for me in some aspect, and I kind of skipped over that one. But when I saw this, I was like, I really want to try this because I don't have the stackable previous version that they came out with. So this is the outside packaging, and it's really kind of, I don't know, I really like it. It's kind of just like a graffiti kind of style, so I do really like it. And yeah, and I think it costs like £51 or something like that, which in all honesty is a bit high end for me, a bit too high end sometimes. But for me, like, Melt Cosmetics are one of my favourite brands, and anything that they pick up that I kind of like the look of, I will always try my best to pick it up. And so yeah, this is what we got. So the palette itself has a really nice kind of leather feel to it. I am hoping it's cruelty free because I'm pretty sure all their makeup is cruelty free and this is not real leather, although it could be faux, I don't know. But yeah, I really like the outside packaging of it. It's really nice and kind of like squishy. And in the past I've had my Melt Cosmetics palettes break on the way here, so I was kind of hoping that this didn't, and thankfully it didn't. So if you've not seen the palette before, I'm going to take out the name sheet because this isn't really relevant right now. And then this is the shade. So you have a kind of, it's not the most exciting palette, but for me, like, this red tone is probably the most exciting shade out of everything, and that is what I'm definitely going to be using today. And it's a nice just random selection of like lighter to deep tones. And yeah, I'm just gonna use it today obviously and give my review. I'm gonna go off camera quickly, put on some sellotape and put on my Urban Decay primer because that are like my go-to, and then we will get started. Okay, we're primed and ready to go. So we are starting off with the black. It's not something that I normally do, but this shade is called Dark Matter, so all the names are on this sheet, so I'm not gonna like hold over it, it's just too much hassle. So we are going in with Dark Matter. So we are going in tiny amount because it's basically going to be like the edge of it basically. And you might notice I'm a bit redder than normal. So before I started this video, I actually put on like a hydrating spray by Superdrug, and it's the first time that I used it, and what I didn't realize is that it made my skin look even worse. So I will not be using that in the future. It was like a vitamin C kind of hydrating thing, and yeah, it doesn't hydrate me, it just makes me feel worse. And it's a bit annoying because my skin has been doing so well recently, and now that this is a slight setback, I'm very annoyed. Okay, so we are just going in with Dark Matter first, and I have mentioned that I put down my Urban Decay primer because honestly, even if I'm just putting on makeup for a little bit, I feel like putting on that primer really does help, like, just keep my eyeshadow on for all freaking day. So this is coming off a little bit like non-existent. I'm just trying my best to kind of like blend this in, so I'm just tapping as opposed to just like, okay, so this is just a kind of a rough outline of where I want things to kind of progress. It's a little bit patchy, so it's not in my opinion a great black. Like, it's really just, it's buildable, but it's not what I would say my favorite kind of black shade that I've ever used. Now we're going to go in with Enigma, which is the shade that I'm most looking forward to. So I'm just going to take that kind of on a bit of a bigger, fluffier brush. And the thing is, with these shades so far, there's a tad bit of fallout. It's not a massive amount, like you can see here, and then on here it's kind of made it a little bit messy. It's not like frustrating, but it's just like something to keep note of if people are not big fans of like fallout basically. And I do know that a lot of people are very like here and there with Melt Cosmetics because a lot of their products can be very hit and miss, which I completely understand. Like, I think some of their palettes are really pigmented and are really great, and then there's some of them that kind of take me a while to get used to, and then there's some that just aren't as amazing. So the one that's probably not that amazing is the Blueprint one. Like, I tried it a handful of times and I just really probably couldn't get it to work for me so well, and I don't know why. It just seemed like it would be such a pigmented palette, and it didn't do kind of a whole load for me, which is fine because, you know, some people might really like that palette, some people might not like it like me, so it's totally fine. But I still like Melt Cosmetics as a brand. Like, they come out with some amazing products. I really wish they came out again with like some other collaborations like they did with the Beetlejuice one. I didn't get it at the time because I knew there was like so much hype around it, and at that time I don't think I was into Melt Cosmetics as much as I am now. I think I mention this every time I kind of do a video on Melt, but I really wish they bring that collection back, but I don't think they would, because I remember them saying it was like a limited edition. So, you know, we can hope and pray, but it's probably not going to happen. So next I'm going to go in with, let's go in with Fade. So we're kind of going down a bit, which is fine. And I mean, that second shade is slightly more brown than red. So when you look at it in the palette, it's quite a red tone for me. And on the eyes, it's kind of like a deep brown, which is okay. So now we're going to go in with this shade like I mentioned. So it's a bit of a chocolate brown. So we're just going to take that kind of blending in this way. I'm trying to use as many shades as I can. And one thing that I forgot to mention, which is slightly obvious in this palette, but each row has like the matte and then the shimmers on top. So if you want to kind of do a similar look but then make it all shimmers, you've got the shades below it that will be exactly the same, which is quite handy. Okay, so now we're going to go in with the shimmer now. So like I mentioned, we have a whole row of shimmers. I'm not really sure what one to go in with. I kind of am vibing with this little one at the top, which is called Flare. So I'm hoping it's a bit of a red one compared to the actual matte shade, which was not very red. So I'm just going to take that on like a small brush, and I'm just going to take it on kind of the rest of the lid now. So I'm just going to put it here and just tap it in, and it looks a lot more red, so that's good. There's a tad bit of fallout on my face, which is fine. I'm just going to blend it in. I'm going to kind of go over the black as well, because the black is kind of a nice kind of base for shimmer tone, so I'm just going to blend that in. Okay, that's not looking too bad. So now we're going to go in with an inner corner. So I will probably go in with Gleam, which is this one just here. So it's just the lightest kind of like champagne colour, which looks like it's kind of perfect for an inner corner. So let's hope it gives us something. Okay, yeah, that's pretty. That's fine. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this palette yet. I kind of want to see how the whole look comes together. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to kind of speed this up where I'm going to put on the rest of my face, because I like to kind of feel afterwards how the palette looks, and then I'll give you my final thought. Okay, and this is my finished look. So what are my thoughts on the palette? I do think it's an interesting palette. So I'm not saying it's bad, and I'm not saying it's amazing. So I mean, that first black shade was not my favorite, and I did mention that in the beginning, just because it took a lot to build up. And I know sometimes black is always probably one of the most patchiest shades ever, but some brands get black very well, and this was probably not my favorite of the matte black shade. I mean, maybe the shimmer will be amazing, but I mean, I rarely use like black shimmers, which is something that I might start doing. This kind of brown tone, which I thought was red, is kind of like a wall, like brick type of shade, and it is quite nice, again quite buildable. The shimmers that I tried, well the two shimmers that I tried were really nice. Like this top one took a lot to build up as well, and even the inner corner one I felt is quite nice. So as a whole, I do think the palette is good. I don't think it's, like, honestly, I say this all the time, worth like the £50+ because okay, there's quite a few shades in here and it's a big palette and it's, you know, got nice packaging and everything. I do feel like a lot of the palettes are quite overpriced, but that's because sometimes I'm quite stingy. But then again, why did I buy it if I didn't want to spend £50? But you know, I will definitely be using it again, and I've changed my mind in the past over a few palettes, like the Love and Butterflies one. I kind of started off not liking it, and now it's like one of my favorite palettes ever because the color and the kind of range of them is so nice. So I'm going to play with this a few more times, see what it's like, and let me know if you've picked up this palette. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope you like this look because I do quite like it. I think I was trying to find my red lipstick, couldn't find it, so I went for my other one, which is called Double D's, I believe. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you have enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe because I film and upload every time I get a chance to. Don't forget to follow me on any of my social medias because I'm always active on there, and I really appreciate you guys watching. Take care. Bye bye.